always had a lot of requests for pecan pie, so we're going to do just a traditional pecan pie for you today. There's all kinds of variations. We could go into different spices, and you can have a chocolate pecan, you can have a bourbon pecan. We're just going to do a traditional beginning pecan pie that won't fail for you. What you're going to need first, you're going to need 3 eggs, pastured eggs, and this makes a big difference for it to have quality ingredients. We've used pastured organic eggs here. So I'm just going to go ahead and put 3 eggs in my bowl here. And it always makes a difference. If you use quality ingredients, you're going to have a quality product. So I'm just going to whisk them lightly here just to break them up and get them started. Now, we don't want to use a mixer here because I don't want to incorporate air in my pie. If I incorporate air into it and beat it, it's going to be kind of frothy, and I'm going to get a real airy pie. I'm not going to get that good, dense, custardy pie that we're looking for with pecan, or as my grandmother called it, Cairo nut pie. So I've got that. I have a cup of sugar here. We're just going to add it in, and gently we're just going to mix it in with the eggs. I've got 2 tablespoons of butter. My butter is very soft. You could use melted butter, but there's just really no need if you've got really good soft butter there. And just whisk it around. You can already see how the butter just breaks down and incorporates. I've got vanilla paste here. We're going to use about a teaspoon. Again, it's a quality product. It's rich. It's got scrapings from a vanilla bean in it. It's going to give it that lovely, rich flavor. Now we want just a pinch of salt here, and that's just going to bring out some sweetness. It's going to level off all the ingredients there. And then I've got 1 cup of dark corn syrup or Cairo syrup. Again, this is a traditional pie. You could use light if you like the flavor of the lighter corn syrup. You could use maple syrup if you like that flavor. You could use half and half if you like a little bit of in between. So again, we're just going to mix it up. Well, beautiful there. And then for the pecans. What I have here in this pan, this is 2 cups of pecan pieces. You can use halves if you prefer, but this is pecan pieces that I have toasted in 2 tablespoons of really good butter. Just tossed them around till they're toasted. You can smell how wonderful they smell. They're hot right now. That's going to bring out that toasted flavor. It's going to give you more of that rich, deep flavor that we're looking for. I'm going to pour those right in. Change to my spatula here. And you just mix this around in here. This is the pie filling for pecan pie dough out of the cooler. It's nice and cool. Now, just as a sideline, you can make several of these, put them in the freezer. You can make the dough up if you're going to have a lot of people coming through company. It'll last in your refrigerator for 2 or 3 days. If you roll them out and put them in the freezer, they'll last for 3 to 6 months. But what we have here, this, remember, is enough pastry dough for... Okay, now we've got our floured board, we've got our floured rolling pin here. We're going to start with a circle, and we'll be more apt to end with a circle. So we want to just lightly roll, and you want to do about a 1/4 of a turn. You can turn it every time if you'd like to do that. If you're kind of nervous about it, give it a roll and go all the way to the ends. Then you turn and all the way to the end to that way. I'm going to turn this over because I want a little more extra flour.
You need to explain that, why you did that. A lot of people don't do that.
I turned it over. I needed some extra flour, so I'm going to flour my board. I don't want to get too much. I want the flour to be incorporated evenly on the top and the bottom, so I don't want to just add all my flour on one side. Pans, we're going to use this fabulous stoneware pan tonight. There's no need, again, to do anything funny with your crust. Just, If it tears or breaks, it's fixable. So just get it into your pie shell. See, we've got a little tear here. It's no problem. Don't stretch it. This is important. Lift it up and place it into your pie shell. If you stretch it, it's going to shrink when you get it as it cooks. It's going to pull away from the pan, and then you will have a mess. So where it was tore, again, just push down through here. We're going to get rid of the excess. I'm just going to pull it off these edges so that I see where it is. Again, save these. You can make homemade crackers with them. You can sprinkle with sugar and cinnamon like my grandmother did. If you've got kids that just can't wait to eat something, or if you can't wait to eat something, you can roll them out, use a cookie cutter, cut out a turkey for Thanksgiving, a Christmas tree for Christmas to put on top of your pie to garnish and decorate with. So we're just going to turn those edges under as best we can. Now, we're not going to do anything. We're not going to bake this pie crust for the pecan pie. It's going to just use it just like this. So we've got our crust here. We're going to need to have our filling that we made. Remember, we've got it right here. We're just going to give it a quick stir. We're going to pour it right in to this pie shell. This is going to plump up. And that's all there is to it. Now, one last thing, and this makes a difference. Take your kosher salt, or if you've got some rock salt and you want in a grinder, I want you to just lightly sprinkle the top of those pecans in that pie with salt. This will give you another depth of flavor and be absolutely delicious. So this pie is ready to go into a 350-degree preheated oven. We're going to cook it about an hour. It's going to puff up. It's going to jiggle. We'll be back and I'll show you what that jiggle looks like. Okay, we've got the pie in a 350-degree oven. We're just going to wait for about an hour. We're going to come back, but remember that was 3 beaten eggs, good pastured eggs, a cup of sugar, beat that in, about a teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of melted butter, a cup of dark Karo syrup, and then the toasted buttered pecans on top of that, and then a wonderful pastry crust.
As my grandmother called it?
As my grandmother called it, Karo nut pie. Because you use Karo syrup. It's been 1 hour. Oh, look at that. Alright, see how it's puffed up? Pie, bring it over to the counter. See, there's a small crack here. Can you see that? And the crack, and watch when we jiggle. See, it's set. It jiggles a little bit, but it's this puffy that you're looking for. This is absolutely perfect. We're going to let it cool for 2 hours, then we're going to be back and we're going to cut a piece.
And this is Mrs. Chef.
And this is Mrs. Chef. And we're living life deliciously with pecan pie.
Hey guys, this is Mr. Chef. You know, my wife was just making this pie with the great pie dough that she made. Well, she made me an apple tart with it because I was going to get this before we show the rest of the video. Can you imagine? No, we'll let this go to the next because she's given me some apple pie with the same dough. Love my wife. You know something, guys? Make it from scratch. Butter does make it better. And this is Ben Chef, Mr. Chef, that is, Chef Paul. Living life delicious.
Okay, we're back. Our pie has been chilled, so we're going to cut a piece. It looks fantastic. Nice flaky crust. See what it's going to come out? Looky there. Pecan pie. Karo nut pie, just like my grandma made. All we need now is just to eat. This is Mrs. Chef, and we're living
Mr.
life
Chef
delicious.
here with the most fantastic pecan pie I've ever had. Homemade dough, made from scratch, toasted pecans, a little bit of butter, a touch of salt, which a lot of people go, salt in my dessert? Absolutely. This is fantastic. Pecan pie from Mr. and Mrs. Chef. Living life deliciously. How'd it come out? Okay.